I greatly appreciate the remarks of General Scowcroft. Anyone who worked for me or with me for any length of time, who finds it in his heart to say generous things after that, is a man of truly spiritual qualities. And now, before I go to the introduction, I must have a word with Fred Camp about videos. My secret dream is that someday, if I grow up more, I will be asked in my own right to introduce somebody at the Atlantic Council, because Fred thinks I need a little help and I might screw it up. But I'm making progress. Last year, I introduced the video. This time, I follow the videos. And who knows, some year I may come out here all by myself and do it right. Now, it is my great privilege and great personal joy to introduce Hillary Clinton. She has just left the office of Secretary of State. And I know those are difficult times when your hand twitches to reach a telephone to give some order, and you want to tell somebody he didn't do it quite right. And I went through this. And as I was going through it, I suddenly realized that at least 4 secretaries of state became president. And that sort of started focusing my mind. Even though there was a constitutional provision that prevented me from doing it. I thought up all kinds of schemes to get around that. But I want to tell Hillary, when she misses the office, she looks at the history of secretaries of state, there might be hope for a fulfilling life afterwards. I speak of Hillary with admiration and affection. She has been Secretary of State in a transitional period of global foreign policy, the scope of which is perhaps not always commented upon. For much of the period after World War II, the world was preoccupied with establishing the new entities that were emerging partly from the war, partly from the independence, anti-colonial movements. In the period in which Hillary served, the fundamental challenge has become to relate these various elements to each other. And this has a component that within each region, the cultural differences are profound. And between the regions, the historic differences and evolution are profound. So the task is to produce stability within the regions and cohesion among them at a time when the United States has to establish priorities among its various activities. So it is not so much a time for drama as it is for caring and for bringing together some of the underlying realities and issues. When I call Mrs. Clinton Hillary, I do that not so much to indicate familiarity, but to use a name that the whole world uses. It shows to what extent she has succeeded in her people-to-people work, in her concern for minorities, in her commitment to developing countries, in her belief in the Atlantic relationship, to establish herself as a name with which the people of the regions can have a personal relationship. I find that when I travel around the world, that people say, when they talk of her, they talk of Hillary much more than of Secretary Clinton. So Hillary has, in this difficult period, been responsible for redefining the use of power around the world by giving it the name smart power rather than blunt power. But more important than that, she has emphasized the moral content that unites ultimately the people of the world. And this at a moment when such issues as non-proliferation, environment, impose themselves as necessities, because the alternative to dealing with them creatively is the disintegration of order, maybe of health, maybe of safety. So it's been an honor to watch Hillary break my record in traveling around the world and doing it in less time than was available to me. So she beat me in both mileage and in the time, but also to establish herself and our country as an advocate and as a spokesman for a world in which the weak can be secure and the just can be free. And it is in this spirit that I would like to give Hillary an award, the award of Distinguished International Leader of the Atlantic Council. Thank you.